This is Furious 5. I'm Julian.
I'm Laurie.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Troy.
And I'm Moose.
And today we're going to be talking about the dreaded COVID and how it's affected our personal experiences as consumers and workers through the supply chain. I think through my personal experience, I've had a lot of problems with inaccessibility to foods and essentials. You know, at the beginning of COVID, there was this mass grab and smash for, cleaning products like hand sanitizer, masks, and wipes. It was super, stressful for me because I needed those essentials as well, and everyone was, taking them from me. So, also created this, fear of, food distribution, what was going to be the new scarcity. I walk into the store and prices for meat and chicken have tripled this year, which is just blows my mind every time.
Yeah, I can completely relate to the shortage of everything and the craziness of it all, because right when COVID hit, I worked at Jersey Mike's down in Riverdale, and the supply that was, the supply managers are responsible for our store. Every couple months, they'd notify us about how there was a shortage of some kind of meat and they couldn't get it to us for a couple months. I remember we had a 2 or 3 month phase where we just didn't have roast beef. And working at a sandwich shop, roast beef's kind of important. So we had some unhappy customers for sure. But yeah, it was just crazy. All trying to work through all that, especially with our suppliers. They were trying their best, and it was just hard to juggle all of that. And something personally for me as a customer that I went through is I run track for Weber State, and they supply us with Adidas gear, and all Adidas gear the last couple of years has been completely backed up and backordered. I've been trying to get racing shoes for a couple of years now, and they're just not available. They're completely backed up, hard to find. And I don't know, it's really affected all aspects of my life, I think. But anyway, it's been hard to juggle for sure.
And I have like a similar experience to Lori as well, because I actually worked at the Buffalo Wild Wings on Riverdale in the whole midst of COVID. And we were experiencing the same thing. Like through the supply chain, we would run out of different things all the time. And it was even harder because we went from having 30, 35 people working every shift to like, I think it was about 12 just working. So there was fewer workers having to deal with not having the supplies we needed or the things that our customers wanted. We actually had to have just a sign for all of us that said what we were out of, because it was different every week. And there were things that lasted longer that we were out of, or new things that we would be out of pretty much every day. And even our suppliers couldn't even get a hold of them. We couldn't even order them. There was absolutely no way to even get like napkins or boxes, or honestly, we ran out of chicken wings a lot, which was absolutely the worst. So our customers were having bad experiences, and so were we. And even as a consumer myself, having to like buy masks to wear to work, that was impossible. There was no stores that had them. I had to order them online. It would take forever for them to get here. It was just an absolute mess.
So when COVID hit, I was working at a truck stop, and the truck stop I worked at had like a retail side, and it had like restaurants built in. So there would be supply chain issues with like both sides. And that was kind of bad because we were getting truckers in, and truckers are pretty impatient. They can be, especially because they're like on a time crunch and they're looking to kind of like get their stuff, get their gas, and get out of there. They're not looking to stay around. And so you get an angry trucker and it kind of ruins your day. For it though, we did get a pay increase, but we were still having like issues like employees leaving and stuff like that. And so those were supply chain issues too with the workforce. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Like, I worked at a clinic during COVID, so it was like we were in the middle of all of it. And at beginning, it was very hard, like patients getting mad to have to wear masks, and we had to have them have to take their temperatures. Like that was at the beginning of COVID, and patients were getting mad. And then that would make staff members get mad. And like, we were just like short staffed. Like it was hard because nobody wanted to work in this and nobody wanted to deal with the patients. And so then like we even like for like the shortage side of the supply chain, like we had to hide our masks because patients were like driving up to the doors and running in and taking like boxes of masks and hand sanitizers and tissues, which we would usually just leave out, for like patients to grab whenever. But they were stealing them like at least once a day, and it just kind of became hard to like keep track of. And we were also running short. Like we could only wear one mask a day. We couldn't like change it out if something happened to it. And like as a customer experiencing that, like the worst thing that for me probably kind of doesn't seem like a big thing, but was like going to Starbucks in the mornings. I mean, I got in at like 6 a.m. and I need that coffee, and they didn't have like anything I liked. Like they didn't have any brown sugar syrup or like mango dragon fruit or strawberry acai. They were just like out of everything. I basically was just drinking black coffee, and that was, I don't know, not what I wanted. It was very hard for a couple of times, but I guess like overall, we all have been personally affected by COVID in many different ways, and we still are. And I guess time will just tell how long it lasts.